You are in the world, welcome to today's edition of the Keynote Curators Live. I'm Seth Deckman, your host and founder of the Keynote Curators, where we've been providing keynote speakers and entertainment for our clients and customers for nearly 20 years. Today, I want to get right into it, right into the heart of the matter. I've got a soccer ball here in my beloved Argentina jersey from the World Cup in 1978 when they won their first World Cup. The next World Cup came in Mexico in 1986 with the beloved Maradona, Diego Armando Maradona. And what I want to talk about today is a topic that gets bandied about a lot. It's not really a sexy topic. It can be leadership. You hear it everywhere. Servant leader, invisible leader, leaders make their team better, leaders don't have egos. All of these things are valid. One thing I can tell you is that there's not one cookie cutter approach to leadership. There's not a one size fits all. And something that might have been effective and produced great results as a leadership style yesterday or last year might not work today or tomorrow. So you got to be able to be agile, adapt, flexible, and read the room, among many, many other skills. But today I want to focus in on the World Cup and Argentina's success. It's Wednesday. Later this afternoon, Morocco and France are going to play in the other semifinal. Argentina made it through to the finals, and they're waiting for the winner. And this year, it's Messi's team. And this is a lesson in leadership that I find fascinating. Sports is a great vehicle. It's a great metaphor for understanding leadership style, teamwork, communication, so many facets of life and business that, it's so easy to extract and distinguish and learn from what's going on because of the appeal of the drama of the competition itself. So, you think of Argentina and you think of Argentina football or soccer, and you think immediately of Maradona. And if you're of a younger generation, you immediately think of Leo Messi, who's from my wife's hometown of Rosario, Argentina. And he's originally part of Newell's Old Boys, the Lepers, and that's my team. I'm not Boca, I'm not River, I'm from Newell's, just to get that out of the way. But you also think of Argentina, you think of their famous, beautiful Malbec. This is a lovely, lovely bottle of Malbec from the Mendoza region. So while we're going to be watching the final, we'll be cracking this bottle open and sipping and giving salud to the Selección Albiceleste. Sometimes in Argentina, when you're at a restaurant or at home, it can be served in a little jarra, in a little jar. This one happens to be the number 10. It's a little pinguino because in the south of Argentina, there are quite a large amount of penguins. The number 10, not always, but often can be the captain or the central figure of a football team or a soccer team. Maradona was number 10. Pelé was number 10. I'm not sure if Zinedine Zidane was a number 10, but he certainly operated like a captain. And Leo Messi is a number 10. Not all number 10s are the captains or the stars. Cristiano Ronaldo today is number 7. Beckham was number 23, who's a very well-known player. And there's so many others across the world. In the United States, our own Landon Donovan was our number 10. Now, Messi is in his final World Cup, his 4th World Cup. He doesn't have the same style and charisma as a Maradona. Maradona was, I don't know if he was flashy, but he certainly had a lot of magnetism and a lot of appeal and loved the spotlight, had a lot to say about any subject, anytime, anywhere. He liked to party. He liked to be out with the people. And he was a very, very charming, endearing character with a lot of great characteristics, but also a lot of flaws. Messi, I don't know if he's the polar opposite, but certainly is distinct in his style and way of being. I happen to have lived in Argentina for 15 years. It's where my wife is from. All three of my daughters were born in Argentina, and they're big Argentine fans. And I've been kind of behind the curtain and been able to understand a little bit of a deeper level from the inside out. Messi's generally a quiet, keep to yourself kind of guy. He's not a super vocal, outspoken person. When he does talk, people do listen, but he's not looking for the spotlight like Maradona. When he first came into the selection, into the national team, he was clearly a star. He was already starting for the famous FC Barcelona, or Football Club Barcelona, and he was surrounded by extraordinary stars where they had a period, they were a dynasty for a good decade or so, where they won all sorts of trophies and titles, not only in the Spanish league, in the Premiership, in the Club World Cup. And the thing that was missing for Messi was always his way to produce a title for Argentina at the World Cup. Maradona had done it, and they had done it before Maradona. But who was the best player in the world, or considered by many the best player in the world, and he couldn't bring it home? So I thought about that for a little bit, and I said, what's going on there? Why now? Is it because it's the end of his international career? Is it because he's better suited or better technically? And I think it's a couple of things, and I want to tie it into leadership. Messi came to the team as a young man. He was surrounded by already established veterans, already established stars. And there were also director técnicos. There were coaches that had quite strong personalities. So he came in with the weight of the world on his shoulders. He had to fill Maradona's shoes. He had to bring the title. And he was only a teenager, 18, 19, 20, representing his country in a very difficult region where you have powerhouse like Brazil, who's won it multiple times, Paraguay, Colombia, Uruguay, even Chile in has its moments of competing internationally. And here's Leo, surrounded by veterans who have been through the war, has really strong personality in the technical director or the coach, and he's got to find his way. And being naturally kind of quiet and reserved, with the culture of Argentina, which has high level of expectation and demanding a lot of the best performances all the time, this was a challenge. And while there were great results produced, the cup never came home. And they went through a rash of a new generation coming in and new coaches and experimenting and a lot of drama in the federation and changes in rules in the World Cup. And all along the way, Messi didn't deliver. But the first lesson to take away is he never left the idea of who he was on the table and tried to be somebody he wasn't. And that's authenticity. He worked hard. You never really saw him complaining. He might talk to the refs, but he wasn't this kind of player that verbally blamed the refs or pointed fingers at other people. He got kicked literally down a lot, knocked over, hurt, and you never heard a word from him about that. He was very focused. So that's the lesson number one. Stay true to who you are. When things get chaotic, when things get turbulent, when things are hard, stay true to yourself. And he did. Even when the world was begging, asking, pleading for him to change, to be different, he wasn't, and he didn't. And he stayed the same. The other is stay focused. It sounds so simple. It sounds trite. It sounds generic. It sounds cliche. But his level of focus and his ability to tune out all of the swirl and all of the noise and deal with the task at hand, which is to win the football game or the soccer game, is just extraordinary. The weight of the media, the expectation of the public, the history of Maradona, on, and over time, building and building of not winning the cup is just unbearable. And he stayed focused. He stayed true to himself and he stayed focused. And then something I think happens, which is just natural. I almost feel like I want to take a sip of this wine. I'm getting so excited. One of the things that happens just natural is as the passage of time, players retire, players move on, players get hurt, players end their careers. So as he came in as a young man into an already established, very strong team that had its own culture, slowly but surely, he was there consistently. He was the common thread with new players coming through and trying new formations and new starting lineups and bringing different types of styles into camp of different types of players at different positions. But the consistent common thread was Leo Messi, number 10, who was there doing the work, staying focused, never moving away from his idea of, I want to bring the cup home. Extraordinary. Well, fast forward to Qatar 2022. They're in the finals. There's a lot of work to be done. 90 minutes left. That's a lifetime in football, in soccer. It could go extra time. It could go to shootouts. France, they're the favorite to beat Morocco. But whatever team shows up in the finals, they've got to be a really great team to have worked through the tournament and created the opportunity to play in the finals. So whoever the rival is, they're going to be really strong. But the takeaway is be consistent. Over time, if you're the leader, you're going to make your mark just by being who you are. You don't have to come in and be a bull in the china shop and clear house and fire people and change the culture on its head. Sometimes, maybe that's required. Most of the time, no. So in this case, I've been thinking about it a lot, watching the World Cup with my family, with my wife and my daughters, and chatting and texting and WhatsApping live while the game is going on from people from all over the world who are Argentine and not Argentine and know my personal connection to it. And what's there is the opportunity to be yourself, stay consistent, and the leadership values that he's shown. This is his team now. That's my takeaway. Over time, being consistent, being who you are, this is his team. Win or lose, Leo has not betrayed who he is. He has stayed true to his core virtues, to his core values. And that might be, dare I say, more valuable than winning the Copa. I'd like to say you could have both. But if it's the case where they go down in a great fight, he never lost sense of who he was. He was always anchored in his own character, his own identity. So today, in a few hours, Morocco and France are gonna go head to head, and then we're gonna wait until Sunday, I think the 18th in the afternoon here in the United States, and all different hours all over the world. And it's going to be a match for the ages. And I can't tell you how excited I am. And as you're watching the game, notice what your idea of a leader is and what Leo is displaying. Notice the subtleties, how you think, he doesn't say a lot or he's not that expressive, but his subtle interactions, a hand gesture, a touch on the shoulder, one or two words, a look, an encouragement here and there, or kind of a firm, mature correction, if you will, to some of the younger players. Keep an eye out for that, because apart from the competition and the fun of it all, there is a lot to take away from this. So today's lesson was leadership. Go Argentina. Go Leo. Go number 10. Be true to yourself. Enjoy your Malbec. And let's go Argentina. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you next week at the same time.